to go through another example, and this one's actually in your books. So let's have a look at this second example. Okay, here. There's a diagram here. There's two skyscrapers that are located 25 meters apart, and a cable links the top of the two buildings. Find the length of the cable if the buildings are 50 meters and 80 meters in height. Give your answers correct to 2 decimal places. Okay, so I'm going to apply a bit of Newman's analysis here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a question and underline the important parts. So, two skyscrapers are located 25 meters apart. So we've got something that is 25 meters apart from each other. And a cable links the top of the two buildings. So a cable links the top of the two buildings. It's going to, because I kind of see that as important. What the question is asking us here is that we want to find the length of the cable if the buildings are 50 meters and 80 meters in height. And the final thing is we want to find the answer to 2 decimal places. Okay, so I've labeled the important information. I'm just going to draw out this diagram and include that important information. So here, I'm going to draw out my first skyscraper. I'm going to draw out my second skyscraper over here. Now, what does the question tell me? Well, the question tells me that this length over here, these two buildings are 25 meters apart. So this is 25 meters. Okay, on top of that, I know that these two buildings are 50 meters and 80 meters in height. So I've got that this length over here, this building, this is 50 meters. I'm going to draw this a little bit better. So this is 50 meters. And this one over here is 80 meters. And we want to find the length of this diagonal cable. I'm going to draw it in yellow just so I can highlight it. So we want to find this length over here, this diagonal cable. Okay, now that I've drawn this diagram, I'm actually just going to draw the shape again so I can just see it a little bit clearer, just the shape that's in the middle. So I've got here, this is what the shape looks like. I've got 80 meters, I've got 50 meters, I've got 25 meters, and I want to find out how long that diagonal is. Okay, cool. First step, I've done. I've drawn my diagram. Next step is I want to identify where I have a right angle triangle. Now, hopefully you notice that this looks very similar to my first example. And so I can actually put on another horizontal line here. There's a right angle here. And so I've got another right angle triangle here. I've got this right angle triangle at the top. I'm going to draw it out on the side here just so we can see it a little bit better. Okay. Let's label the triangle and figure out what sides we have. Well, the first side that I can immediately put on is, if you notice this bottom length here, this bottom length over here matches up perfectly with my 25 meters. So this bottom side over here is 25 meters. I don't know what the length of diagonal is. That's okay. I'm going to label that X. And I still got this final missing side. How can I find the length of this third side, this vertical side over here? Well, if you have a look at my diagram over here, they tell me that I've got two skyscrapers that are next to each other. They're 50 meters and 80 meters tall. So what I can do is, I know that this length over here, if I draw the horizontal line, this length over here, just from the top to that horizontal line, that's going to just be my 50 meters. Because if you have a look, I'm going to match it across, and I drag the 8 across. That's okay. That's my 50 meters. And so I know that this length over here is 50 meters. So if I want to find this top bit over here, what do I need to do? Well, all I need to do is just take my 80 meters and subtract 50 meters. 50 meters. And I've got 30 meters. So here, that side length in orange in my triangle is just 30 meters. Okay, cool. Now that I've got that, I'm going to apply Pythagoras' theorem. Here, I'm going to check I've got my missing side. Is that my hypotenuse? My hypotenuse is directly opposite my right angle, and yes, my X is my hypotenuse. So here, I'm just going to write Pythagoras' theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. I'm going to substitute my values in from this triangle up over here. So what do we have? We've got C is just my missing side. I'm going to write is X squared is equal to, I'm going to put in my length of my two shorter sides. So I've got 25 squared plus 30 squared. Okay, cool. I'm going to put into my calculator 25 squared plus 30 squared. So let's do that. I've got 25 squared plus 30 squared. And we've got 1525. That's a nice number. And so that's what my x squared value is. Am I looking for x squared? No, I'm looking for that length of that cable. I'm just looking for x. And so what do I need to do? I need to take the square root. So I'm going to take the square root, 1525. And so I'm going to just go square root 1525. And I've got 39.05124. 39.01524, I think it was. Oh, nope, 05124. 05124. And what was the unit for this? Well, if you have a look at the rest of my question, they were all in meters. So here, it's going to be in meters. Now I'm going to look back up on my question. Have I solved the problem? Not quite, not yet. So I've found the length of the cable. This is the length of that cable x. But it asked me to find it to 2 decimal places, which is what I've written down over here. 2 decimal places. So I need to round this to 2 decimal places. I'm going to go to 2 decimal places. So this 5 over here, look at the next number. It's a 1. Do I round up or down? I round down. So here I'm going to have 39.05 meters. And I'm going to write a concluding statement at the end. So the cable is 39.05 meters long. And there we go. That's how we use Pythagoras' theorem to help us solve different problems. Have a go at a few of the questions. I will assign you a few, so please check the Google Classroom to see which questions I want you to have a go at. But if you have any questions, feel free to post them up on the Google Classroom or email me. I'm more than happy to help. Have a go at the questions and applying these steps for me in your workbooks.